Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. This is Daisy right here. Thank you so much for stopping by. In today's video, I will be talking to you about how expensive or not expensive things are in Brazil. Okay, this is me talking to foreigners generally. Okay, I'm going to be addressing the foreigners generally, and then I'll talk about the people in Africa, and then I'll break it down to the people in Nigeria because I know more about Nigeria and I know what I can tell them to do or not to do while coming to Brazil as a foreigner. All right, so it is very important for you to know as a foreigner trying to migrate to Brazil that things are quite expensive in Brazil. Yes, compared to the inflow of money, compared to the flow of money, things are quite expensive in Brazil. Both things that are produced in Brazil or things that are brought from your home country, okay? All right, because somehow people sell things from your home country. Like people import things from different home countries to sell in Brazil. It's like that in every country in the world. Yeah, no matter where you go, you will find people from your country importing things from your country to sell in another country. All right, so we have that here also in Brazil. Yeah, so both things that are produced, manufactured, whatever in Brazil are expensive, and also things that are brought from your home country are very expensive. Okay, so now that I've talked about now that I've addressed foreigners generally, now let me focus on Africa. Now there are lots of I won't say there are lots of Africans here. There are a number of Africans here, especially from Angola, Congo, a little bit of Ghana, then a little bit of Nigeria. We have more Nigerians than Ghanaians, but then we have some Ghanaians, we have some Nigerians, but not so much. But a lot of Congolese and Angolans are really a lot here. So as a result, these people, take out their time to bring things from Africa to sell here. All right. Now you will find these people more in Sao Paulo, right? They're in other cities too, but not as much as Sao Paulo. We have quite a number of Africans more in Sao Paulo than any other city in the whole of Brazil. So like I said, they bring things from Africa to sell here, and it is quite magnificently expensive, like a lot. So you might want to have that at the back of your mind. So when you're coming to Brazil for the first time, you want to migrate here, try your best to bring one or two things here and there that can help you last long enough. Pending the time, you will settle well in Brazil and know how to navigate your way around and know where to buy what or buy this or buy that, okay? So, and also, it is important for you to know, okay, I'm going to give you an example of things that are very expensive. Food is expensive, okay? It's not cheap. Compared to the flow of money in the country, they are expensive. Now, making of your hair is expensive. Even cutting your hair as a guy is expensive. So if you are a man, you're coming here, you might want to learn how to cut your own hair. If you're a woman, you might also learn how to make your own hair or make other people's hair, okay? You can make money actually making people's hair, all right? Because there are quite a number of Africans here, not so much, but quite a number of Africans here. And a lot of people do not want to go to the central to make their hair because it's quite expensive. So you can actually bounce on that business, make hair for people for cheap, and you would see that you will make a lot of money. All right. So if you're a man, you want to come here, buy your clipper from home, buy your hair clipper, not just from Africa, anywhere for foreigners generally, you want to. Cutting of hair is not cheap, except you don't mind going to the barbing salon to cut your hair. It's okay. But if you think you want to save money, bring your clipper, learn how to cut your own hair. And also, if you're the woman, learn how to make your own hair from Africa, from anywhere. You can learn how to make your own style, your own hair. And then you can also bring in your products, your hair products or whatever. If you're the type that likes wearing wigs, you can also bring your wigs from Africa, from anywhere you're from, okay? Because it is not cheap to make hair here. It is very expensive. Imagine making braids for 300 reals, 250 reals. That is freaking expensive compared to what people earn here. It is too expensive. You want to make Ghana braids, they almost cut your neck off because you want to make Ghana braids. Ghana braids that you make, maybe the highest now is 5,000 naira in Nigeria. Before it used to be 1,500, 1,000, 2,000 naira in Nigeria. Cheap. Maybe now because of how expensive things are, it's risen up to 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 naira. But that is still very cheap compared to here. To make braids, Ghana braids, in fact, they will cut your two legs, cut your arms, even almost cut your head off because you want to make Ghana braids. So if you love yourself, you like wigs, buy your wigs from Nigeria, bring them here. To buy wigs here, very expensive. All right, buy from Africa, buy from Nigeria, buy from anywhere, all over the world, wherever you come from, whatever you use for your hair, bring them from home. All right, as long as you're able to determine the expiry dates of your product, you can buy them in longevity, like make sure they are long, it will last long enough for you to be able to use them, gradually. Even if they finish up, you can find a way. By that time, you'll be well settled in Brazil, and then you would have found other better ways to like buy your products, okay, whether in Brazil or anywhere. Now, I've talked about your hair. I've talked about, so now food also, like for people from Africa, our food is expensive here because they import it from Nigeria, from Angola, from Kenya, from everywhere. They import them in here, and it's quite expensive to purchase. Okay, it's not cheap to buy ogbono, to buy all these things. So if you're coming from Nigeria now, I've talked about Africa. Now I'm talking specifically about Nigeria now. Now, if you're coming from Nigeria, make sure you bring, for the first time, if you're coming for the first time, or even after you have come in, you've lived in Brazil for a while, if you know people coming in anytime, just tell them to bring things for you, okay? Bring me ogbono, bring me agusi. Now I'm mentioning Nigerian food, okay? For those of you that are foreigners watching this video, you can also, for other foreigners, you can also tell your people, if you've lived there for a while, if you're coming for the first time, like I said, you can bring things along. Don't bring them too much in large quantities so that they don't stop you at the airport. Just bring them in moderation, all right? Bring some things in moderation, each quantity in moderation, and bring them in. That way they will not stop you, they will not take your things from you. I did that when I was coming. I brought crayfish, I brought a couple of things here and there. I brought a grounded pepper, I brought a couple of things, but I brought them in moderation, like not too big quantity and not too large quantity and not too small, just in moderation, okay? So so when you bring them in like that, so when people are if you're coming in for the first time, you can bring things in moderation, things you might need to eat here and there. Even if it finishes, if you know people coming from home, you can suggest to them to bring things for you, also in moderation, okay? That is why I said, even after living here and whatever you brought for the first time is finished, you can always find a way to get them. Either you settle into the country and begin to eat, buy from Brazil, or you find a way to send, when you know people are coming in, you can tell them to bring for you. All right, we're also going to be talking about accommodation, but then when I finish explaining this, we are going to talk about accommodation as well. Now, what else again? So when you get here, clothes also, we can bring in your clothes. I don't know how much clothes you want. Clothes are not cheap. Nothing is cheap in Brazil, whether made here, outside, nothing is cheap, okay? So now moving on to accommodation. These are ways in which you can get cheaper accommodation, all right? There are places you can go to far away from the metro station. You get cheap accommodation, okay? You can get 2-bedroom flats for as low as 1,000 reals. That is quite nice, but you wouldn't be close to where you can get train or metro easily, or buses easily, okay? You might need to take like a Uber to the metro station, train station, before you can move, all right? But at least it's reasonable, especially if you have family. You want extra rooms for your kids, you want extra rooms, for your mother or mother-in-law. It's nice. You can go inside, all right? There's nothing wrong in that. There's nothing, but you can always manage your way around that if you have a family. But if you stay at the center of a city, you definitely know it's more expensive to rent an apartment. Now, in the city, you can get apartments as low as, say, 600 reals for a studio apartment. From 600 reals upwards, you will find. Even if you want to get, like, say, 400-500, you need to still go inside, okay? Like I said before, if you go inside, a little bit further inside, you can rent a studio room for, like, say, 400-500, most of the time 500 reals, but you wouldn't be close to the metro station. But if you want to get, say, like 600 reals, then you can get at the center of a city in Brazil, like city center, like you can be close to the metro station, close to buses. You will get as low as 600 reals for a studio apartment. Now, in the city center, if you want to get apartment, maybe say for like your family, you don't want to go inside, you can still get for as low as 1,200, 1,300, 1,400, 1,500 for like a 2-bedroom flat, or for like like a 1 bedroom flat, you can still get for like 1,001, 1,002. For 2 bedroom flat, you can get like 1,300 reals, 1,004, 1,005 reals, for 500 reals. Okay. So, for somebody like me, I cannot, no, sorry. I cannot go inside. I like the city center. So, even if it's just one room, I'm okay. Okay. Even if it's just one studio room, I'm fine. I will pay 600, I will pay 700, whatever. But going inside to get, 500, 400, and then I'll still struggle to get to the metro station. It's not for me. Anyway, so here are the then there's another type of accommodation you can get. Okay, if you want to live in a cheap apartment, okay, really cheap. Let's say you're coming in for the first time, you don't want to spend so much, you have not gotten a job. You can actually leave, not leave though, that is past that. You can actually leave when we're not dead. So you can actually leave. You can actually live in a shared apartment, okay? Shared apartment meaning you don't have to live with somebody inside the same room, okay? But you can own your own room. You have your own, it's going to be a little bit furnished, maybe like a table, a bed, a wardrobe, okay? Something of that nature. Some might even have TV. Some might not have TV, but then it's going to be furnished averagely in a way comfortable enough for a human being to live in. Then you have your own room to yourself. That I'm trying to describe to you a type of shared accommodation and cheap that you can live in when you come into Brazil without thinking of how to rent a whole full room and paying so much. Now, you can but you will be sharing bathroom and kitchen with other people, but your room is solely for you, only you inside your room. That's a type of accommodation that you can rent, and it's cheap. Why I say it's cheap is because you don't have to pay for internet, you don't have to pay for gas, you don't have to pay for what again, and one or two things here and there. Everything is inclusive, and it's as low as 500 reals. Okay, you might even get the one for 400 reals. So that's quite cheap and reasonable for someone who just came in, does not have a job, and wants to still live a little bit comfortable. And the beautiful thing about this situation is that these places are usually very clean. It's not because you're sharing bathroom and kitchen with some people that means it's a dirty environment or bad environment. No. And the beauty of everything is you don't have to bring anything. You don't have to buy pots, you don't have to buy a spoon, you don't have to buy plates, you don't have to buy anything. You don't even have to buy bed or anything. Everything is furnished already. All right. So all you need to do is just pay and move in. So it's as low as 500 reals. 400 reals. Okay, it's cheap. You can find it in Sao Paulo, you can find it in any city. I have a friend who was living there, and that's why I know this story. And where he booked this type of accommodation is on www.olx.com. You can also find it on www.quintoanda.com. You can also find it on www.facebookmarketplace.com. Okay, there's also talabas.com. You can also, in Talabas, you can rent a furnished apartment. In Quinto Anda, you can rent furnished apartments. You can also do the same for on OLX. Okay, so all you need to do is just identify what type of apartments that you want. In all these websites that I've mentioned, you can find your type of accommodation, like cheap, averagely cheap, expensive. Anything you want is in all of these websites. I'm going to be putting them in my anywhere around in the video, on my comment, on my description box. You can check. You're definitely going to find all these links where you can book your accommodation like easily. So if you need apartments that are cheap, that is the cheapest way to live in Brazil when it comes to like apartments. Okay, so there are areas you can really go inside. Like I said, you will really find very cheap accommodation. 2-bedroom flat for as low as 900 reals, 1,000. That is very cheap. When it comes to Brazil, very cheap. I have a friend living there. This same friend is the one I talked to you about. That friend lived in a shared apartment before. It was through him I got to know that things like that exist, where you can have your own room, but you'll be sharing kitchen and bathroom with other people. Okay, and then he booked this on olx.com, www.olx.com.br. But you can also find this in all of the websites I have mentioned so far. All right, so it all depends on the caliber of lifestyle you want to live. Now on talabas.com you can find very, very touche expensive flats, like from 2,000, rented furnished one from 2,000 upwards. You don't have to bring anything as well, everything is furnished. You can find 1,000 something upwards. It all depends, furnished and everything, with kitchen utensils and every other thing. All depends on what type of caliber of accommodation that you want. So, another thing I would like to say before I go is that I have talked about how expensive things are in Brazil, right? However, there are people from certain countries that I have seen so far that come to Brazil, and when they want to talk about how things are, the cost of living in Brazil, they practically say things are cheap. Okay, so to them, or for them rather, things are very cheap. But on the other hand, my opinion is things are not cheap, and a lot of people that I've seen also say things are not cheap. I'm gonna try to define it properly so that you understand me. Now, people that come from places like America, Canada, Australia, Germany, all these well-off countries that are doing well and their currency is quite on the high side, they find things in Brazil cheap because their currency is high and they get things quite expensive in their country. So when they bring that currency here into Brazil, everything becomes like I don't know, like nothing to them. It becomes very cheap. On the other hand, people from Africa, remember that our currency is doesn't have any value. It's on the low side. So when we come to Brazil, things become expensive for us because Brazil's currency is higher than ours. Do you understand? On the other hand, people from the Western world, from well-off countries that are doing well with high currency, when they come here, things are cheap for them. But we in Africa, our currency does not have any value. When we come to Brazil, Brazil's currency is higher than ours, and then everything becomes expensive for us because Brazil's money is on the high side. So everything we want to buy is expensive. So that is it. Thank you so much for watching. Have an amazing day.